We were boys with stupid plans, now we're dads with dirty hands. So it calls late nights, learning how to get it right. Boys to dads, hey, growing up all over again. No matter the struggle that I face, I'm showing up every single day. Boys to dads, hey, boys to dads, hey, growing up all over again. No matter the struggle that I face, I'm showing up every single day. Boys to dads, hey.
So, Leander, we're here, third episode. It feels
I
amazing.
I honestly didn't believe we would reach third episode, to be honest.
This is going to be a very emotional episode because we are going to go to the time that actually made us dads. In the sense that is where our story now gets more emotional and gets more, I think so. It's more close to our heart. So I want to start by asking you, when you think of family planning and everything, how was your experience? Like, did you plan it with Janelle or was it unplanned?
It was planned, to be very honest, it was planned. We did we always had this thought where we began at a part where we said, like, even though we have love marriage, we always thought we would still give more time after our wedding. And we did that. We gave about 2 years. We enjoyed the relationship more. And then Janelle, always being the person who likes planning, came up to me and said that I think we are ready to take the next step. And that when she said, like, let's start. And that's how Alex like explain a little further, or rather I will share a little further how it's starting to, get for us a difficult stage, because planning was one and then reality hit. And that's how it started to move for us, like, okay, this is not what we thought it was. Because at one point of time we really thought like everything for us, right from the time we fell in love to be sharing our bond with our parents to getting married, and after that everything was like a structured plan, and it went step one, step two, step three. But the process of being a parent, that really showed us that why God chooses you. It's not just you become a parent, but why God chooses you to be one.
No, that's really deep, man. I did not know that was. I did not. I obviously knew that you all went through a process, but I didn't know it was so. It was so overwhelming at times. Like for me and Melissa, we had a plan because when we moved to London, and we were like, okay, new city, we need to adapt, and we just had a plan. Okay, once Melissa finishes her hair training course and everything, then we would, look at having a baby and all. But then suddenly we had this news, so it was like completely unplanned, and it took us a bit like, oh, it was okay. Now we need to recalibrate everything. Yeah.
So, so how did you guys find out about this whole thing? What was your immediate reaction? And like, was it like you asking her or you nudging her, or she just comes to you one day?
So how did we find out was very I don't know, it's a very weird story for me to tell because I thought I had some feeling from inside that something is happening, but at the same time, was also dealing with the news of Arjing's death. Arjing had just passed away, and it was a funeral day. That
Yes.
it was like just too many things happening and like too many emotions. I feel so. I feel I feel bad in a way, in many ways actually. I feel bad that I was not able to completely process that information. That when you get this kind of news, you're supposed to be really happy and excited, and I was just fighting different emotions. I was grieving and I was so happy also, and I did not feel like I gave Melissa the right response to such a amazing news that is so important for us as a couple. So just going through that and trying, just remembering about it, I feel like it was such a, one of those moments where you just don't know what was happening. Everything was just happening. It was a funeral day, and I got the news because I felt from inside. I told Melissa, just go have a check, and then, it was just I just did not know what to do of all what to make of all this thing. But I was happy, and I was lucky, not happy. I was lucky in a way because Melissa, she's understanding. She she kind of like held me together for some time. So it was nice to know that, okay, I don't know what to do right now because I'm fighting between two emotions of grieving and also just, a new life coming into my
I know,
world.
yeah.
But yeah, it was difficult. But I wish I could just, maybe be able to process that news in the way that it should be processed.
So for me, like I told you, it was that, I told you that part where why God chooses you to be a parent. So for us, the time of processing came when it was getting difficult for us. We had to visit almost about 5 doctors, and the fifth one came to us as a surprise because we together had gone for this Holy Land trip in Israel. So there is this place near the Nativity Church in Bethlehem, which is called the Milk Grotto. Apparently, it is a place where Mother Mary fed baby Jesus, and because of that particular place being the place where she fed him, that entire place is turned white. The marble stones, the ground over there is white. So the place has a story of miracles where they give you a kind of a powder over there which is blessed, and when you have it. So it was a time where me and my and Janelle, we kind of made fun of it, like saying that okay, this is something I don't know how is this really true. Like I said, God has His way and His plan, and it came to us that we had that moment where one of our parent had taken that specifically for us, and we didn't know about it, and it was given to Janelle, and Janelle took that leap of faith, and that's how we found the fifth doctor. And even though we had 4 doctors telling us that we had to go the unnatural way, this fifth doctor said, "Give me 3 months, and you will have your baby." So it's funny how when you said that, that you knew something was there. And it was the same thing with me. Even though we knew that it was up and down. Like, and Janelle had actually traveled to London at that time. She met you and all of it. And she was, she had already conceived by then when she was in London. So technically, like, my baby and Janelle had traveled to London on a trip without me. It's first trip the mother and the son had. They came back, and I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong, and I kept on telling her. She's like, "No, wait, there's time. We just met the doctor 3 months back. Nothing. I'm not even having medication. It's like it's nothing yet." So I was like, "There's something wrong," and I had that smug on my face, like like something is wrong. We need to have a check. And that's how this news suddenly hit us when I actually took my dog in a surprise when Janelle said she is not ready for it. And I got the kit. I gave it to her the next day. She was so pissed at me, like, because she wasn't prepared to do it. And when it came, we were like, oh shit, it really happened. So we dealt it with tears. We dealt it with a ball of tears, both of us. We dealt it with tears. And then comes the part where we had to break the news. How did you share it with home?
Meaning for us, you'll know very well how we shared it, because we wanted to do something fun. We wanted to involve people that we love. So I don't know if you remember when we give you a call, just asking how are you all and all that on the video call, and then
It was the
we popped
it
out
was the
the
most
sonography.
typical Miku way to get a news. It was the most typical Miku way because we had so many news one after the other from friends. Like I had that queue with you when it was coming.
That's because we know each other, man. That's very difficult to not for us not to know what's coming from the other person because we know each other so well. But that was our way of showing everyone, breaking the news to everyone that, this is what's happening with us, and we wanted to share it with our friends and family. And then we just wanted to do in the most, I think so, authentic or playful way that we know. And it was very nice to see people just see, oh, we're on the video call, and then suddenly seeing a picture like, what's that on you? Oh, no, no, you did not. So it was fun. It was fun. I remember it was really, I liked doing that, and I liked to see people's reaction. It was really good. I was very happy also. So, and then
The image you showed me actually helped me learn what the image that I was going to see next. Otherwise, till then, I like I'll be like, okay, this was it.
how was your way
So,
of sharing the news with everyone else?
for us, it was like the moment, like I said, we were crying out with each other. We literally sat, to be very honest, we literally sat as husband and wife for a good 5 minutes together. We thanked each other. We took that moment. We had two more tests, to be honest. We had two more tests, to be honest. First, we called my parent and we told immediate reaction, please go for blood test. And I'm like, but doesn't the kid say what it is? So yeah, it's traditional way. In the end, you have to welcome the traditional way as well. But yeah, we were not prepared. Then we immediately called her parents. We told it. Then you guys, we wanted to like break it in a dramatic manner, like how you guys grew up. It was in a dramatic manner. So we wanted to keep that mode on with all our friends and everything. So that was fun too, because we liked that we all kept our rhythm of the same funny things that we wanted to do with each other to break the news. Like I remember telling you like, uh Amy's got a brother and you're like, oh, I was got a brother. And then suddenly Melu tells it from behind to you, like, dude, they're getting someone. And it took time for you to process. So yeah, that was
As
fun.
always.
Yeah, that was fun. And the reaction was really, really nice to see our parents give us that reaction. I rushed. To be honest, I really rushed down. I went to the closest pathology lab. I told them this is the kid, and that guy told me twice. He at one point of time he actually thought, I'm someone who's come over there like with a news that should not be brought. It's like and somebody else's news I want to break over here, or like, it's some kind of an illegitimate relationship that I'm trying to put over here. And like, it's like, why do you want to know? It's your wife, right? It's like, yes, but my parents want her to do a blood test. Like, but it's the kit and my blood test is not going to show anything different. So it's like, how am
But
I
you have
supposed to
to do it.
explain that to your parent? So he's like, just go to your doctor. Everything will be done. So I just came back. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, it cannot be done. He's clearly said, if you have a doctor, you need to go to your doctor. And that's how my parents also calmed down.
I
It
know when
was,
it was, like I was just thinking, now you've told me that. I was thinking when we went for our scan, baby scan, and we both were wanting for a girl. And then when they did the scan, and then when they told us like it's a boy, when we came out, we were just laughing because both of us were thinking it's going to be a girl, and it was a boy, and we were laughing because we were happy also, but we were also like it's just like I don't know how to explain some things. I think it's only when you go through it, then someone will understand it. But it was just like it was crazy and it was emotional and it was very nice and you feel really good and you just don't know if you're like prepared for it sometimes. That's little the
uh,
scary part. And that's why I want to ask you, like when you all finally know and everybody knows now, okay, like this thing is happening? Like, how do you process that? How do you take that news in the first few days, weeks, like, you know? Because I have this thing where I always share with people is that for women, I know it is like the baby is in the womb and they go through hormonal changes and everything. For a man, I don't know, I feel very like, I felt uh, like I was there, but do not know how to be there, if it makes sense. And
I
you
would put it
you
in a
don't.
way, I would put it in a way, it was very similar to when the baby was born. Like, both the moments were similar to me. Like when the baby was born, I wanted to foolproof everything, like foolproof life, foolproof house, foolproof, like my dog. Like he had to be trained not to be around in the same place, like because it's a baby, it can catch infections, it can do this, it can do that. So the same processing I had it with Janelle as well. So when we got the news, like, okay, you need to exercise, you need to eat well, you need to stress less, you need to like work, how much you need to work. Yes, but at the same time, traditionally, if I would say not too much of a process into caring and to everything else. I liked what Janelle did. She stuck to the middle of both. That's how I like about us in the era that we are born. Like I know you would believe that too. We are in the perfect middle era of we have to take a little bit of the old and we have to even catch up with the new people because the new is just changing every 2 years.
Yeah.
So she kept that bridge very nice. Like she knew what she had to accept from the old, she knew she had to take from the new and keep it the same way. So that's how I would say it was. It was same as the baby being born. We kept foolproofing a lot of things, like foolproofing how she is to visit a doctor, foolproofing how she's going to eat her stuff, foolproofing of how she's going to do everything. And we like stuck to our doctor like a glue. Like, she was it. So that's how I would say is how we processed this whole thing.
Meaning your experience sounds so much better. Because for us it was we Melissa got gestational diabetes, so like we always had to have like that machine with us to check, and then we had to keep reporting it to an app, and then every time her, I think the glucose or something was high, and we were like, oh, we have to eat less of this, eat less of, but somehow it just kept going up and down. So we found that really like stressful because we were not we were always looking at that machine. And the machine was red. Then we were like, the doctor going to sunao us now. you know. And it was like very this weird. But then now, so that I'm looking back at it and I'm thinking like, I had no clue. Like you had like foolproof thing and you were thinking of foolproofing. I don't know what to foolproof. I was very lost actually. I don't know. I don't know if I was there, and I don't think I was properly like able to support, you know. And I don't know. I just felt like there was not someone I could lean into to get like some kind of advice or some kind of guidance, or because I was the first among all of y'all. If one of y'all had a
Correct.
baby first, I
Yes.
would definitely call y'all and ask y'all like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do you do here? Like, what happens next? Like, I don't know. I do not
Correct.
know
Correct.
anyone. I only Raisa knew. Like I could only go to Raisa, but then Raisa's like she's like a girl, right? Like, but I couldn't talk to a guy to ask their perspective, like how things were. So I felt
Okay.
like I did not have that, and that's why I feel like what we are doing, I feel like people need to listen to it because you will feel alone during that stage, and it's very difficult to like you will not understand when it's happening to you, but fast forward like a year or so, you will be like, you know what, I messed up that part, could have done better, you know, I should have done better, but I did not know what I was doing, but like time can only teach you what you know when you know at that time.
Correct. But that's, I
Something like
think,
that.
that's I think what I'm trying to say is when you eventually come to the relationship shift, that's how it, things get different with your partner as well as you'll become stronger. I think that's, you cannot say that you did not do enough because, like, I know you, I know how you have been sharing your story. You haven't done enough. So you must have really had a good relationship shift, and you must have had a different bond in terms of growth with Melissa. I'm sure about that. If you think about that, you will know that you have done enough. It's not like that.
Yeah, meaning that relationship shift is real, that's another thing that people don't tell you because there's so many things happening. Like, and also like in the UK, there's lots of it's good, like they have lots of information, they have a lot of these theory things, and they have classes, breastfeeding classes, and all these other bits and pieces. So it's really good, but it's very, again, very centered around the mother and the child, and which is also fine, which is that's because they are the main characters of the story,
Correct.
So, but then later on, I started meet like after Imi was born and all, I started going out to different toddler groups, and started meeting people, and they were like having a conversation about like there's nothing for men in that syllabus, you know.
Yes.
So like when people are not um, then a lot of men traditionally in the UK also, there are a lot of men that are very passive in their nurturing and parental needs,
Okay.
parental care. And then it becomes, oh, like, yeah, they're the dad, they don't need to do anything. But because no one has told them, like, you have to do
Correct.
this, they
Correct.
always seen their father just being the wallet of the family. Like, you go, you work, and then you come back, and that's it. And so I feel like we are, like you said, we are in the middle age, right? We are
Correct.
taking the old and the new. Like, I was seeing something that our parents are the WhatsApp university, and we are the
Oh,
Instagram university.
don't,
You know,
don't.
our parents get all the information on WhatsApp and they'll forward it, and we are the Instagram university where
Don't.
we see things. But there are lots of good things. Like, those, like, if look at our feeds now, our feeds must have shifted from rubbish content to now content about parenting, about
Correct.
emotions,
Yeah. A
about
lot of parental
fatherhood, and all those
jokes
kind of
about
things.
fatherhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we are learning from those sources as well, because like, for me, there's not much there's no one as a figure I can go to and ask questions, or be like that person will understand what I'm asking, because I don't know how to ask questions. I don't know how to, like, explain myself. I suck at explaining myself.
But I
But
would say that for you, if you think a little more deeply, there was nothing better than asking your spouse. Because see, I told you in the beginning, we had our relationship was like love bound. We we found each other, we told our parents and everything. So my question was always to Janelle. It's surprising when you say that, because when you shared the stories about how you all had the part where you all had to be taught about the baby, to about breastfeeding classes, and I guess you must have been to a few of these classes, and you must have rather overheard. This is slowly starting here in India. It is slowly starting here in India. Cloud9 is an amazing hospital for. I really loved their experience. The panel of doctors, our doctor recommending Cloud9 was one of the best places, I would say, to have a baby. And they had these classes where online classes where definitely it was for the women, but I used to overhear them, and because Janelle used to hear them out loud, I used to overhear them, and it is a lot of knowledge that is there. I was happy because you were sharing a part where you were telling me that these things are there. But in the end, it was for me to ask Janelle, like, how is she feeling? What is her thought process now? Is there a little bit of fear in her? What is it? Because, in the end, when that moment of the baby birth comes, no one's going to be prepared. You know, you know, it's one thing to have it grown in you, and having the joy of people surrounded around you and like being so happy for you, so being so happy for the baby to be born, to that moment when you are actually going to know, be prepared, like, oh my God, this is going to be out of me. And you know that you're
Yeah.
going to be through a lot of pain, through a lot of emotional stress, through a lot of chaos. And that's how it changed, and the relationship happened to us even more in a different angle. And it brought us not only as how much we loved each other, but also to a part like how much as partners we respected each other. Because even when my doctor, I had visited every every time there was a doctor visit, I had to be there with her. I used to go with her, and my doctor used to look dead in my eye, and she used to talk. Even though one of our parents used to always accompany us, there was always one of our parents who accompanied us during that. But she used to look dead at me when there was conversations to me. It's like, Father, you're going to be this. And when you were very close to the point, and when we were about to come to the point where we know that the baby is going to be born in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and that's the time, when she used to look at me, it's like, I know you're the father, but if you're not able to make the decision at that time, it's going to be me. It's going to take that decision. So you better be prepared to be a dad.
Yep.
And that's what I want to ask you. That was for me. When was it for you that you truly hit you that you're going to be a dad?
Uh, that is such a big question because uh, our pregnancy thing when it happened was very stressful because everything was normal, and then suddenly in a matter of minutes, there were like seven nurses in the room, and they rushed Melissa down. We had to make a decision, emergency, wait.
I think it's scripted, huh? Same. Continue.
It was so like, and you ask people like, "What's happening?" They're like, "And nothing's okay. It's just the baby is coming." I know the baby is coming, but like, why are you all panicking? Because you all are panicking. You all don't know what you all are doing.
We are panicking.
We are panicking because I don't have no clue what's happening. And again, like, even in the classes like when we used to go, then the couples used to be sitting there, the instructor or the class room person used to, talk about this and that. And then you could see all the dads, most of the 99% of the dads had no clue what's happening. And that would be the only thing I would feel like, okay, it's just not me who doesn't know anything. It's there are other people who don't know anything. But in that moment, it was so stressful. And then they had to do an epidural for Melissa. And I was like, just panicking because I hate injections. I don't like doctors. I don't like hospitals. I just you
Yes.
know so it was just to go to see her go through all that, and then just sitting on the other side of the curtain and just looking at her and then being like, shit, this is happening. And then when the baby, I remember, so we were watching the monitor, and then I was watching the monitor to see the time when I hear him cry. And as soon as I heard him cry, I was like, snap in my head. That was the time that he was born. I don't care what's on the paper. That was the time he was born. And then they removed him, they wiped him, they put him on the weighing scale. And I was just crying. I was only crying throughout the entire thing. I was only crying. I just could not be consoled. I was
I
only
swear,
crying.
I
Mm.
swear, it just comes out. It just comes out.
Yeah, it just comes on.
I never actually thought I would, to be very honest. Like, I forgot to mention my doctor's name, Shweta Shah. So she was an angel when I was telling you the story about the start. She was an angel when the story came to the point when Exodus was born. Like, because yes, she had told us that she will be coming. She was unfortunately stuck in traffic, and the same story, like how you were five, six nurses trying to push Janelle from one corner to another corner, them like just rushing her down to the delivery room, and she's not yet here. And I'm like, please call her. I need her right now. and I was nervous just outside the room, sitting patiently waiting. I was saying my prayers, to be very honest. I was saying my prayers, and that moment, just around, I would approximately say 8 minutes to 9 minutes just before him being born, she walked to that door and she said, "Why are you so worried? I'm here." I'm like, that was the only thing I wanted to hear. And the moment she came, she went in. I could hear her talk to Janelle. Janelle was calmed down as well. And like in the next 6 minutes, I just heard one nurse's, like I was just like looking down, and the nurse came running to me. He's like, you're the father, just come." I'm like, yes, yes. And I ran in, and at that moment, he was still not out. And then the same thing, he was out. That's the joke. That's a joke of a lifetime for me. And like, when he was out and he was right there, like I could only see Janelle's face, and then I could see his cute little tushy. And there was something between his tushy, and I was like, oh my God, that's so big. And Janelle looks at me and she's like, what's big? And it was very weird for me to first look at the ball sack and be like, I didn't expect it to look such big on a small baby. And then, like, the she asked Janelle, what do you think it is? So yeah, so and she stopped me from answering. Dr. R stopped me from answering because I already seen what it is. And she said, it's a boy. And Shweta Shah was like, mothers always know. And then he was picked up, he was kept on the weighing scale. And that moment when you said, I just burst into tears. Like the first thing I got out, I just like hugged Janelle. I told her, like, thank you, it is done. I hope you're okay. The doctor told me to get out. I was out. And the first thing I did is call all my folks who were outside the room waiting. I was like, it's a boy. And man, I cried while saying that. Like, I'm, it's difficult now, so, but I cried while saying that. I don't know what it is. You just cried.
Yeah, for me also it was the same because we had to go like 1 or 2 days prior, and then when it happened, like I was like updating people, okay, this is happening, and then suddenly no updates, and then they were like everybody kind of thought like, oh, something is happening. But then when it really hit me that I became a dad was, and they put him on the weighing scale, and then I gave him my finger, and I have that video. I was taking his picture, and he caught my finger, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like there's nothing that can beat that moment. Nothing.
Right,
Maybe
right.
if he gets married and he has children, then maybe that would beat it. But I don't think so. Anything else can come greater than that moment when he held my finger for the first time. I knew that okay, this is real. This fellow is real. Everything that is going to happen is going to be real, and I have to step up. So
True.
there was so many, yeah, serious, there's lots of emotions when it happens. And I know, imagine it for us, it was so emotional. For the mothers, would be even more. But like, I can't
Even more.
comprehend that. There's nothing, it's difficult to even compare it with that. But yeah, it was not easy to go through that process. And that's why I'm like, I still get goosebumps when I think of those moments. And I don't know how. Like I
Totally
don't know,
worth it.
Melissa really
Totally worth
went
it.
through all those things, and I was like, I don't know how you went through all that. It's just beyond me, and I'm thankful for her to get this boy for us.
Yeah, beautiful shift in life, being
Yeah,
a dad.
yeah. But yeah, I'm
It's
so happy that we were able to at least talk about this. So there are other people who even can be brave enough and be like, yes, this is something that we need to more talk about, share about more, and feel people less alone in all this. This is one of the most important milestones, right? Like, and if you feel alone during this time, then it's not right.
milestone is, yes, one of the most important milestones. But I always say after this particular incident, I want to encourage dads to be in that room when it actually happens.
Yeah,
There is never a big symbol of love that I feel if you are not in that room. That's
Yes,
the most
100%.
courageous, that's the most courageous attempt you'll take in life. That's the most courageous step you'll take in a relationship. That's the most courageous moment of your life. Because I
Yes.
like the moment of courage you take to be in that room, to see your wife going through all that pain and still being there, like not wanting to know, because you cannot help her. You cannot help her. You
Yeah.
cannot accept that pain. You cannot do, but you just need to stand by her. The moment you know that your child is going to be born, you're going to be the first person to see it. You got to be the person to show the emotions. You definitely cry. And the third is the respect you will always carry for both. She will respect you for being in that room, and you will respect her for being that mother.
Yes,
So I
100%.
believe these three things are the most important things. And in that shift, in that moment that you want to be with your wife, and you should be in that room, is what I would recommend anyone who
Yes,
is
100%.
going to be in this place, who's going to have a baby, who's going to take this step. Please keep note
It
of this.
it's definitely like a roller coaster ride. There's
It's that
nothing
that
like it. There's
that
nothing
30
like it.
minutes. It's just 30 minutes. It's just 30 minutes,
It's
but it
nothing like
is
it. But I was just going to share like on a lighter note. Like there was this comedian that did a set, and he was saying he was also talking about his experience. His was a little more like stoic, I think. So he was not as emotional as us, maybe. But maybe he was just doing a set like that. But he did say something at the end of his set. He said, a woman becomes a mother instantly, in that moment. Like it
correct.
starts from pregnancy, obviously, and everything.
Yes,
But for a man to become a father, it can take months or years. And sometimes I feel like I lost a lot of time to get to that point. But now that I know that I'm at, you know,
there,
I feel like, okay, can do much, much better, and I can keep working on that. That
correct.
awareness is there. So I'm really like glad that I got that awareness now.
True,
So, but yeah, we have so many more conversations to share with everyone. And I
correct.
think so this is a very good place to leave this conversation because it's really late where you are,
Yeah,
and it's getting bath time for me now.
it's okay. I think this was a
Yes.
very good to and fro that we had. It was a wonderful
Yeah.
sharing. I'm happy that I relived this moment again. It
Yeah.
was
It was emotional. It
lovely.
was really emotional. We kept our emotions
We
quite
kept.
well.
Okay, so I think we can close
Yeah.
this episode for today, and
Yes. We'll
we
see
will
you
see
again.
the next fourth one.
Yes. Next one. See you. Take care.
See
Bye-bye.
you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.